Alright, so welcome to another episode of Dirt Cheap Daily. So I have finished up everything on the turbo build, and now it's time to take it all apart and finish up all the little details that I didn't do when I was just mocking it up. So I need to pull the turbo apart and tap it and screw in a fitting for boost pressure. I need to paint the hot side of the turbo because it's wanting to rust. I'm going to reroute my coolant hoses, and I have a cool clear silicone hose that's going to replace these normal black heater hoses, so you'll be able to see the coolant flowing through the turbo. I need to get longer hoses to extend out all of these hoses that plug into the intake. When I have everything apart, I'm going to tap into my O2 sensor plug in the harness because it's really hard to get to with the turbo there, and tap in for my air-fuel ratio gauge. I need to widen up the notch in the crossmember and weld in a support brace for that. Then I need to get everything back up in there with all the gaskets on there. A couple of these bolts are pretty boogered, and so I need to sand them down so that I can actually get bolts onto them. And if not, just drill it out and put in a full bolt like it's on the top. Those ones are all mismatching. They were all there from just the mock-up, and so I need to make sure it all is good to go. So I'm gonna just take it all apart, and then I can get down to the nitty-gritty and get it all back together great, and hopefully we'll have that done by the end of the day. The sun's starting to go down, but it's still early. It's only 2:50, and so I think, cross my fingers, I'll have enough time to get everything done on this and back together tonight so I can drive it. I kind of need a car tomorrow. Well, I don't. It would be nice if I had a car tomorrow, and I guess I don't really need a car this week, but it would be nice if I had a car this week. And this is my only car right now, so that's kind of how things sit. 2:50, about 3 o'clock. That's where we're starting, and hopefully by the end of the night we'll be where we need to be. Okay, so I have obviously the turbo, the uppipe, and everything taken apart, and I have made my notch way bigger. And so I have this Mondo steel, and it's got that nice bend in it. So I'm going to tack that up there. Actually, I'm just going to buzz the crap out of it to weld it, to get it solid up there. It's no looker, but I think it's on there. Alright, so I'm gonna call that weld good enough, and we're gonna move on to the next thing. I need to actually get under there, brushed off, and paint it, but I don't think you guys need to see that. So the next thing I want to do is come in here and cut out some of these, the automatic wiring, and splice into this guy, which is my O2 sensor. But yeah, my next thing that I'm doing now is wiring, now that the turbo's out of the way. Alright, so I got really into it and I didn't film anything, but I'll go over what I did. So, over under here is the wire. I guess this is the O2 sensor plug, and I spliced into it and ran a wire. You can kind of see it right there. That wire through the firewall, just into here for now, and then I will wire up the gauge later. But I figured that was the important part for right now. So after I did that, I used my heat resistant tape, and I guess it's like a heat shield tape. It's Tessa, oh, I forget the item number. Anyway, I got it for like $7 on Amazon. It's what Audi and Volkswagen use in their engine bays to wrap wires and things. It has ambient temperature rating up to 600 degrees, I think. Maybe it's only 500. And a contact temperature up to like 120. So not really good for contact, but good for radiant heat because my exhaust isn't going to be touching anything. It is right there, but that's just because it's not connected to the turbo right now. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna get down there and clean off that support on the cross member that I just welded. I guess I welded it a while ago. It's had time to cool down by itself, and so I'm gonna go down and clean it off and just spray paint the crap out of it so I don't get any rust issues. And then I need to tap my turbo, the intake housing, so I can have a nipple on it because the actual nipple broke off. Anyway, then I need to get everything back together and get to where I can cut the hole in the hood. I have one part notched or marked to be notched for the charge pipe, and so I still need to mark out where the turbo is going to be popping through the hood and cut that. Hopefully I can do that sooner than later because I don't want to disrupt the neighbors. We've been making a lot of noise all day. Ben is working on some mud flaps for his wide body GC8. So it can be legal once it starts snowing. And so right now I think it's 5. Oh, it's 6. So it's 6 o'clock. I've gotten a lot done and I need to go over my list again because I'm pretty sure it's ready to go back together. And then I just need to go out and buy a couple things really quick. And we'll be on our way. I need to put my new oil return line on, and I need to take those heater hoses off and probably just leave them off for right now because I'm routing the coolant lines differently. Alright, the wind is really kicked up, which is kind of a bummer, but it's not stopping me because I'm really close. Alright, whatever. Okay, so I got my tap in the mail, and I just went to the hardware store and got a fitting that'll fit it. Over here, it's the same size nipple as my blow-off valve. So I have my cool side off, and I clean up that hole. We're gonna do it just like that. Let's see if that did anything. Well, I think it's going to work. I just need to find my Teflon tape and wrap this. There we go. It'd be nice if I could get a 90-degree one of these, and I'll probably order one online in the future and replace this one, but for now it's the only one they had at Home Depot, and so that's what I'm using. So as you can see, these guys had something happen to them, and I can't even get a bolt onto the top of these two. So I'm gonna take something anyway and see what I can do about cutting those down, or making it so I can actually thread something onto them anyway. Alright, so I just took a flappy disc and just kind of ground those down on both of these, and now they both screw on just fine. This one already worked, so I'm not worried about that. I also got the housing painted black. This one's still kind of a bugger, but it'll go. It just needs some persuasion with a wrench. Okay, anyway, I'm confident in that being dry. Oh yeah, last thing before it goes on the car is this V-band. So when I bought it, it didn't have a V-band on it, and so I bought this V-band off eBay for $15, I think. Total cost of the turbo with the V-band then is $65. Kind of a bummer that it wasn't $50, but it's in good shape, so I don't really care. There's my V-band. I'm gonna figure out where I actually want to put it, but for now, the turbo is done and ready to go on the car. Woohoo! Oh shoot! Youch! There's a big crease in the hood. Wow, big crease in the hood. Shoot. Well, I guess there's that. That's sketchy now. I forgot that it was so windy. Anyway. Okay. I gotta keep an eye on that, but well, hood's got some dents now, but whatever. Alright, this wind is black. It is 8:45, and it's really windy out now. I have parts kind of all over the place drying or just done, and I think I am ready to do final assembly. Everything is prepped, everything is cut right. I think it's just time to put it all together. So, first things first, the header. Putting it on for the last time. I'm so excited. Okay. Anyway, yeah, here we go. The pipe coming off the thermostat is really close to the header, so I'm gonna wrap it. I mean, it's not gonna do a whole lot, but it should have a little bit of heat resistance on there for me. That's all I'm looking for, is just a little extra bit of help. These things are freaking heavy. There we go. We're on for the last time, hooray! And now, final install of the custom up pipe. There we have my up pipe and down pipe, ready for a turbo to go on it. There's one gasket. Like that. So there it is. It's all plugged together for right now. Obviously it's not totally perfect and it's not done yet because there's no hole in the hood, but it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm gonna call it good. So it looks like I'm not driving it tomorrow. I'll have to finish it some other night. Hopefully the weather holds out for me. I think it's supposed to snow though. So I need to cut the hole in the hood. This hose that's connecting all of my vacuum is too small for my vacuum. I need to get a larger one of those by just a 1/4 inch or 1/16 of an inch. It's just barely too small anyway. And then another T-fitting so I can plumb in my boost gauge and see if it's actually hitting boost. I need to plug in my rear O2 sensor and fab up my exhaust, and then I'll be done. So getting super close. Had a good day. Got a lot done today. Didn't get as far as I thought I would, but that's kind of how it goes.